This is Lavender Health, a production of the Office of Gay and Lesbian Health Concerns of the New York City Department of Health. I'm Ron Vachon, director of the office, and this evening we're talking with David Winters. David is Assistant Coordinator of AIDS Prevention at Gay Men's Health Crisis, GMHC. David, I want to talk a bit about oral sex tonight. One of our viewers called and left a message on my answering machine and said, let's talk some more about oral sex and how one can catch HIV from oral sex, and is it true that you can or can't you? Lots of confusion around oral sex out there. One of the guidelines that are published by GMHC are called the Safer Sex Guidelines for gay men and for everyone. And it says here that the exchange of cum and pre-cum should be avoided in oral sex. Avoid putting the head of the penis into your mouth. Never allow anyone to ejaculate into the mouth. Use a condom for the greatest freedom in oral sex. And then it goes on to describe other kinds of sex and what is safer. Mm-hmm. Is oral sex safer than anal sex? Is oral sex something that people should avoid? Tell me about it.
Well, if you ask if oral sex is safer than anal sex, I would say yes, it is, because the rectum is a fragile area. There are blood vessels that are very close to the surface of the mucosa that lines the rectum, and with penetration that causes friction with the mucosa, and it can tear much easier than, let's say, in oral sex. The mucosal lining of the mouth is quite a bit different from that of the rectum. To call oral sex safe, unprotected oral sex safe, is also incorrect. Mm-hmm. I don't want to give the illusion by any means that I'm advocating unprotected oral sex. It's proven that HIV can be transmitted across mucosal barrier. Well, actually, today I was looking over studies to come in today with some hard factual evidence to say that yes, if you're sucking a penis, you can catch HIV, and it's really difficult to find that definitive data. Mm-hmm. It is theoretically possible, and when you're dealing with a life-threatening illness like AIDS caused by HIV transmission, it's better to err on the side of caution than to throw caution to the wind and sure. Put oneself at risk.
The experts tell us that less than 1% of gay men in this city are converting to HIV positive annually at this point, whereas I think in IV drug users it's 8% annually. And previously, obviously, it was much higher in gay men and IV drug users. So obviously, people have made some changes in their life. There are some of us who work out there, who work in the bars, baths, and cruising areas of this city, who are seeing people engaging in oral sex, unprotected oral sex. And so there obviously is some sort of information that is not getting to these people. Mm-hmm. Can we make a definitive statement right here tonight on this show that oral sex unprotected is not something that one should practice?
Let's rephrase that so that what we say in our guidelines is that unprotected oral sex can put one at risk for HIV transmission, and that one should use condoms for the greatest ease and comfort in oral intercourse. Whether the information is getting to the people or not, I don't think that. I think the information has gotten to people. I think people understand that unprotected oral sex is putting them at risk for HIV transmission. But it's a sexual behavior that is not the easiest to change. Mm-hmm. We go into AIDS education thinking that we're going to change sexual behavior overnight, and it's really an extremely difficult thing to do. And we can look at ample studies about cigarette smoking and other type behaviors, not necessarily associating cigarette smoking with a sexual behavior, but just the fact that it is difficult to change behavior.
What can people do if they after hearing this program and hearing us sort of come and go on this issue of what is safer and what is not. Not that we're being ambiguous here. I think we're telling people that oral sex is definitely a risky behavior without some sort of protection. I mean, I think that's the clear message. But where can people get further information about this sort of stuff?
Well, if they haven't read GMHC guidelines, I suggest they do, and they read other organizations' guidelines as well. Ultimately, safer sex is an informed decision by consenting adults, and it's up to individuals to decide what they are going to do and what they are going to determine as safer sex. It's funny that you use the word ambiguity. There is ambiguity, and it's interesting that the public at large is expecting the scientific community to give them these straightforward, definitive answers about, well, can I or can I not become infected by this particular activity? And science can't do that.
Well, to come to more personal terms with this issue, call the AIDS hotline at 718-485-8111. David, thank you for being with us, and we'll talk some more about oral sex.
Okay, thank you.